so thankful cheerleading's back and
Me
people
too.
are getting the experience. Kids are getting back on the mat to perform, and that's you know, the number one thing. So yeah, so what's coming up outside of our taping in HSCC for high school nationals? That's going to be in person and virtual, so we're working on that. I don't know how much podcast related content we'll do as that happens as we get into April, but I think where our focus of this show is on the college events. I know last year we had a lot of fun hyping up and doing predictions for UCA College.
We're doing those again?
Totally, yeah. And we had plans to do that for NCA, but that all got taken away because Daytona got canceled back a year ago in March. So we've been dying to do that for NCA. I mean, like literally, we watched cheer on Netflix. And then we did in UCA College.
Oh, we were so ready.
We were so ready. It was going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
But then Miss Rona made her appearance.
I'm just really excited NCA is happening. I think I might be more excited for NCA this year than I have been in almost 10 years. Because the last time I went to NCA Nationals as a athlete, I didn't compete. I was an alternate. Disclaimer. But went to the bandshell back in 2010. And so I think I'm just really excited because we have some of our former kids competing at the bandshell this year. It's going to be an outdoor event, like it always is. Obviously, part inside, part outside, but
I don't know.
Should be a great event.
I haven't looked at the full schedule. It's April 7th through 11th, which is 4 days. So they may be trying to do it all outdoors.
Interesting.
To just avoid having any indoor mess, but being, you know, that I've done countless events down at Daytona related to the live stream and stuff, I do know that they are planning to still use indoors because it can rain. You're
always
on the
a backup
beach.
plan.
You're in the springtime. There's a chance for some bad weather. So
I'm so excited.
So it should be outside. There might be some inside capacity, but yeah. So that's April 7th to 11th. I mean, they just released the partner stunt results. So co-ed and all-girl and mascot for NCA.
We haven't seen any tapes yet.
Yes, so if you are a coach and you had athletes do it, will you please post your videos?
Yeah, I want to see them.
TikTok exists, Instagram exists, YouTube exists. I mean, you could just email it to us. We just love to watch. I mean, if we don't have to post it if you don't want to post it, but we want to watch cheerleading.
Yeah,
y'all post it. themarkthru@gmail.com. Send them in. But otherwise, tag them if you post them and we missed it.
Yeah.
I think that helps build up the fun of the event. I understand if you didn't have a perfect tape and you're working on it or you're changing your routine. The whole secrecy in cheerleading is weird to me still. It always will be, but I think it will always exist, so it's not a soapbox I'm on. So, and NCA is also doing virtual for college, so that'll be in part of our predictions.
So they're offering both. Makes sense. I know a lot of universities have been like fully locked down their spirit programs. I know a lot of programs have lost a lot of athletes because they're like, hey, if you don't want to hang on for this ride, then like you don't have to stay. And if you're not getting
a full scholarship, what are you hanging around for unless it's your degree?
1,000%. So it's just interesting. So we'll see who shows up. We'll see how many teams are competing. I'm excited to cover the event and just see how all of these teams do. Our friends, our former athletes, our co-coaches that we talk to on a weekly basis. So NCA should be a fun wild ride this year.
So the virtual divisions for NCA they have, they've listed them. So advanced large, advanced small, advanced all girl, and then advanced game day. There's some intermediates, and then there's the new NCA Spirit Rally. But for our purposes, if you're trying to plan ahead and get excited, we're going to be doing predictions related to the advanced division. So we'll have the advanced virtual, and then we'll have the in-person. So we'll be getting that ready this month and then posting our sheets, and hopefully we can do a pre-episode and then a follow-up episode for both.
Be gracious with us around that time though, because we're due to have a baby around and around that time as well. So
we are.
So I mean, yes, we can plan all of that. Absolutely, we might just be like a week or so delayed.
Do we have a book coming out too?
We might have a book that's like en route and will be for sale probably by the end of this month.
Okay, tight.
Yeah.
So crazy spring for us.
Kind
Sick.
of. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Newborn, new book.
Nationals.
Let's all the things. It's like the whole world decided to shut off and then just turn back on all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And then 3 weeks later is UCA College. So that's that's delayed. So the NCA College is more around its traditional time. I don't think they had to change the date at all.
It didn't happen last year though.
It didn't.
So it is nice that they're like gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. But so the UCA one typically halfway through January, kind of 2/3 of the way through January. So now it got moved to April, and I think that goes back to what you were saying about a lot of these programs that were shut down. A lot of athletes didn't hang around because campuses are closed. Like if you're an out-of-state kid, you're not close to with your team right now to go practice an open gym on your own. So it's been hard for a lot of college teams. So I think UCA did make a smart call in saying nobody's going to be ready in January. Yeah. And if anybody is ready, it's going to be 3 teams, which good for those 3 teams, but that doesn't make a full competition, so we need to bump it back so that more teams can get ready.
Well, and I think during January they were thinking college nationals was going to be, it's in the middle of flu season, but it's also, usually like 3 weeks after Christmas, and they were predicting another big spike from Christmas. So I think it was wise to get it out of winter and get it into spring.
So UCA College, that's at the end of April 27th and 28th. Normally that's a 3-day event. Now it's going to be solely a 2-day event. So I think that's an unfortunate reflection of the limited amount of participants and stuff. But I think it's great that we've seen a lot of our college coach friends, they're getting their teams ready. There's a lot of virtual happening. So I think, like we're experiencing in the high school side, it's very similar to the college side. It's very similar to the all-star side. Everyone's very thankful to be back, very appreciative to be back. And everyone just wants to be able to get back to doing what they love, and that's their sport of cheerleading. A couple interesting things about UCA College Nationals as we're looking ahead at that. There's no partner stunt. So in the previous years, it's been tricky to either find the scores, the results, the videos for partner stunt. I know that has to do with the whole ICU and international sport related to stuff. I think it's funny and interesting that they just took it out this year. I'm sure the UCA office has been reviewing hundreds and thousands of tapes, so they don't want more tapes to review with all these virtual things. So I understand the need to remove 50 extra tapes from the workload.
Especially if half of college nationals is going to be virtual submissions.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So, but they are doing mascots still, so I saw that they announced that. I know a lot of coaches are excited because part of that now includes a paid bid. So,
nice.
Getting all those props down there is not cheap, so I think that's very helpful for some of these spirit programs that don't have a lot of funds but that would like to have their mascots represented, have their university represented on such a scale. So that's awesome. And then another change, I don't think this is necessarily related to COVID. This was mostly a change just as a result of last year and the competitors. So they added small co-ed Division 1A.
Okay.
And I think we talked about this after the event when this news came out last spring briefly. So I think that'll be interesting to see how many compete in that.
Yeah.
I think if there was no virtual and it was all in person, I think we'd see a more interesting result in that pool.
Totally. I
know with all the changes in teams and the chaos of programs that 2 schools we're close to are looking at going co-ed, small co-ed, from large co-ed, or from having an all-girl and large co-ed and kind of combining to kind of use all their athletes as best as possible. So that'll be an interesting division to watch. Of course, we'll allow predictions for that. We'll put out our sheet and everything.
I don't know who I'm predicting for that. I got to see the schedule.
We're waiting on the schedule for this. So no worries there, and no pressure, Michelle. Take your time, you sweet angel. And then on the UCA side, the virtual divisions have not been announced. So I think that they're waiting to see how many register and how many teams there are and how they can organize those to create a strong competition. So predictions coming soon for NCA College, UCA College. It's going to be an exciting April for cheerleading.
You ready for this? Who live is us? Who lit is this? Who real is us? We too legit. We are M-A-R-K-T-H-R-U. Mark Thru Podcast.